my name is Magnolia Heaton. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I am the owner and clinical director at Love is Healing LLC. It's a bit of a random video today, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to say. I'm just going to freestyle it. Today I am visiting Austin, Texas for the first time, and it's a place that I've been wanting to visit. I want to say close to 15 years, maybe 18-ish years or so. I just haven't made my way here for several reasons. I think it's because it's so out of the way, but I'd always wanted to because it was a big city and it just kind of seemed cool, right? Even though I didn't know much about it, but I used to have an affinity for big cities. So I think maybe one of the things I'll say is like, actually, I got here, right? And I really liked it. What struck me most was that it was really clean. I was like, wow, this place is so clean. Because, I mean, I've been to New York City, Mexico City, Miami, a lot of Los Angeles. Those are the biggest cities I can think of that I've Chicago, but I can't remember much about Chicago. And yeah, Guadalajara. But this is the cleanest city that I've been to, which I think is interesting. And again, I don't know much about it, but I just wonder if it has to do with the politics in Texas, how like there tends to be more police in the area, though I realize that Austin is more like blue. I just wonder if it has to do with that. I would kind of think so. But anyways, it's really striking. Also, the people here are so friendly, which is also shocking. Did I say that? Because just, yeah, being in Miami, people aren't. So, yeah, and if you didn't know, I've lived in the Miami area for almost 3 years. And yeah. So anyway, they're really kind as Californians, which is saying a lot, I would say, being a Californian. And just kind of rambling. So that was a pretty cool thing that I realized. And then I would say I went dancing for the first time in a while. Can't remember the last time I went dancing, but I went swing dancing. And that was cool because actually I took a lesson 1 week. I committed to swing dancing, so I went 1 week and then another week, and then bam, the shutdowns happened. So there went that. And then here we are years later, and I went swing dancing. And it was fun. It was cool. I think I wanted to post this video to talk a little bit about the cultures and how they're so different. So swing dancing is predominantly old people. I'm sorry. Yeah, old people and white people in my experience. And it's just so interesting because like they're really big on consent and things like that, and the rules and the etiquette and things. And they even have rules posted. That was my experience. I can only speak to 2 communities, right, in Albuquerque and in Austin, but that's my experience, and it's pretty cool. It's just different, right? And yeah, I feel like there was more there. Give me a sec. Man, I know that I had really major points, but they just all, the downloads happened so fast. I'm like, I don't know. So then after that, I went salsa dancing for a bit, and it's just so different of like, the gatekeeping isn't there, which is fine. It's not as formal in a lot of ways. So it's just interesting. And again, I know I had major points. I just can't remember. Yes. I was just thinking about what comes to mind is saying being a woman, but I don't know. I think being a follow in general, right? So like when you're dancing, social dancing, there's a lead and there's a follow. So the lead is the person who like literally leads, and then the follow is the person where like your only job really is to follow, right? And so yeah, it's just interesting because, oh yes, thank you, got it. dance is how I learned a lot about boundaries, actually, right? Because, so I'm going to use the words follow with women interchangeably, and then men with lead interchangeably, just because that's what I'm used to. Of course, if it's, non-binary, things like that, totally, or like women can also lead, but like stereotypically, that's what I'm used to, right? And so, okay, so I think being a woman, like, right, my job is just to follow. And then if the guy, I'm gonna say, I've had a lot of salsa teachers in my life, and so I remember one, she's very spicy, which is funny because she's from Chile, literally. And she'd be like, you just follow and that's your job. No back leading, da-da-da. Like, you just follow, you sit there and you look pretty. And I was like, okay. But like, really, that's my job, right? If a guy messes up, it's his fault. Okay. So that really taught me a lot about boundaries. And that was really helpful in particular because it was a time in my life where I was very like judgmental about myself and really skittish and I'm not going to say shy, but like definitely very anxious and cared a lot about what other people thought of me. So for her to tell me that, I was like, okay, it's the guy's fault. It's the guy's fault. It's the guy's fault. Which is true because like the guy's job is to lead. And I can see it from that perspective of like, it's true. Like I can see, it doesn't matter how good of a dancer a guy is. If he can't lead me, then it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because then we just can't dance. I don't know what else there is to say there. But like, I don't know, it was really empowering. And I think in particularly as a woman, it was really empowering. Especially we're like in school and like my social work field, it's like women are oppressed, right? Men are the enemy. So like to get these messages was really empowering. And a man has to respect the woman in order to like dance and things like that, right? There's like I guess in salsa I can speak more to like for a man to turn a woman, right? You have to make a little halo around her. I mean, on top of her head, I guess. And it's really small. So if a guy throws your arm, literally, it could like mess up your shoulder and you could go to the hospital. So like the man has to be really gentle and like guide her and things like that. And the man has to make sure that she's protected. He has to lead her. He has to be the frame and he has to make sure she doesn't fall or bump into anybody else. So the man has all these other jobs, right? And the woman just has to basically sit there and look pretty and have fun and dance, right? And then it's like, I was also taught that, like, if you're dancing, whatever, and then somebody messes up, you laugh it off. That's it. You laugh it off. You're like, ha ha ha, oh humans, we're so silly, we make mistakes. And then you keep going, right? And if you lose your step, wait. And then you get the beat again. And then you keep going. And then if you mess up again, you laugh it off. And so like these are little nuances within the cultures and subcultures of dancing that I think are pretty great. I can mostly only speak to Latin dance, to be honest, because I know other ones are very kind of more rigid. But yeah, I was thinking about that today because like, okay, so I went swing dancing and like I feel like I like walked in and then this guy asked me to dance. And I was like, wow, thanks. I haven't danced swing in like 3 years. And I don't have a lot of experience. But like, well, thanks for doing me a solid, dude, right? And then, yeah, I got asked by other people. And most of them were chill. There was this man that I danced with, though. And he was very... I can't think of a proper word. I can feel that he was very controlling and very uptight and very cocky even. And I had to like bring that Chilean teacher's voice into my head, and I was like, no, it's his responsibility. He has to make me feel comfortable, and if I mess up, it's his fault, right? I mean, he corrected my hand too, and it's just like, bro, no one else corrected my hand, and he's like, had all these rules, and I'm like, bro, pretty sure you're wrong, but whatever. It's not like you're receptive for me to talk to you. It's borderline rude to cut off someone in the middle of a dance, but definitely if it's a gesture, right? Kind of like if you were to like leave a penny for a tip for a server or something like that, it's a gesture of like, we're done. So I almost did that to him, but then the song ended and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, that wasn't fun. And then later, when I went salsa dancing, there were a couple of guys that were really nervous. The first guy I danced with was really nervous, and he was a beginning dancer, which, like, cool, happy to teach you. Who's in that mood today, like, totally fine, right? Have the patience for it. And and he was really nervous and things like that, period. I think in general I like to empower people, especially men, I think. But anybody that's taking a risk, because it's like, yeah, dude, it's challenging to take a risk. And I can only imagine, like, being a dude, being an adult dude, and then, like, learning something and then being expected to be the lead and have all these expectations. And it's like, you have to know the move, you know, you have to know how to do it. You have to read the woman. You have to, like, adjust to her size, as in her height and then her girth. Like, it's a lot to keep track of, and, like, her tension. And then if she's not having enough tension, then you have to overcompensate. It's a lot. I've led a little here and there in my dancing, but yeah, anyways, back to boundaries. Yeah, right? And then, like, I remember, I feel like I danced with this other guy, and he was just so nervous. And that reminded me of guys that I've danced with before, and it's like, they're nervous. And it's like that old man. It's like, they're nervous, and then they become controlling. And it's like, that's not the vibe, bro. and then in that moment, I was like, yes, I need to make a video about this. Because I think I've been struggling a bit with boundaries a little bit, and it's like, it's not necessarily about me. It is sometimes about other people. And I'm energetically sensitive, and sometimes I just think it's about me, or like, I do a caretaking job, right? It's like, I'm a mom, and then I'm like a supervisor, and I'm a therapist. Yeah, and it's a lot. So it's a good reminder that, like, it's not always you. If you feel really uncomfortable around someone, or you feel, that's what it is. Because a lot of the times with these guys, right, that are really anxious, it's like, I'm there to have fun. That's my vibe. I know without a shadow of a doubt I'm a good dancer, period, right? Do I have things to learn? Sure. Is it a big deal? No. Also, if I can't execute the move, it's the guy's fault, like, legit. Because I know sometimes, like, I'll dance with guys and it's like, oh, I've never done this before, but they know how to lead me. So knowing that, then I, like, go and I dance. And then there's men who are, like, so anxious and controlling. I mean, I know there's narcissists out there too. I'm sure they're out there. I've danced with those too. I mean, I guess that was a different, sorry, with that old man that I danced swing with, like, definitely had elements strongly of narcissism. So it's like, okay, so maybe now that I think about it, it's not just anxiety, but it's also narcissism. And then there's this element in my body where it's just like, oh, wait, you have to, oh, you got it wrong, oh, apologize. And it's like, what are you doing? And then I think about it and I'm like, oh, that's their energy, that's their vibe, that's what they're doing, period. So then in that moment I have choices, right? I'm like, do I cave into it? Do I rebel? Because sometimes I do, honestly. It really depends on the vibe. But I guess if someone is legitimately kind of narcissistic and rude, it's like, one, why didn't you ask me to dance? But I also, on some level, understand that there are people who legitimately just like making people feel bad about themselves. They're just like, dude, I'm not the one. So in that case, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna just be stiff, and we can have this power struggle if you want, or whatever. I don't know. It's just interesting. So I guess I say all that to say that, or I guess to invite you to think about, like, what your boundaries are. I know I talk about boundaries. I talk about them all the time, probably, maybe even in all my videos. And what are your boundaries, and why do you stand for them? And then what are your responses to other people when they push up against them in different ways, and why? And then what's your point? Like, what's your intent anyway, and, like, having the boundaries and upholding them? So there's that. I think that's the lesson part of the video. And then secondly, because this resonates for anybody. I think there's something I want to say on race, but I think I'm going to save that because I don't have all the words for it. And something else, I feel, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, but I'm wearing black lipstick today. I'm going to say it in the shamanic way that I would say it. So typically, like, I don't wear lip color, but when I do, I always debate between a dark red and the black. My intuition always says black, but I always go with the red first, and I'm like, dude, why do you do this like every single time? But I think it's because I have hope that I'm gonna like how the red looks, but it does something, like it brings out the reds in my skin, so like it makes my nose look redder and just stuff like that. So then I end up going with the black. A little side note for me on black lipstick. I know it seems so random, but I just feel like it's gonna resonate with someone. So, dang, I remember I think I was like 13, the first time that I was exposed to black lipstick, and I thought it was an abomination. It's just weird, like you don't really see it back then, right? And I thought that I want to get some someday, that would be cool. And then I got older, like 15 maybe, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want some someday when I can afford it. Because I was broke, I don't know. I can't afford to pay $1.50 to buy some black lipstick. Are you kidding me? Like, I'd rather buy food or, I don't know, stuff that I needed at the time for school or something. Anyways, and so, yeah. I think I finally got this lipstick probably 2 years ago, I would say. And I cried because it's like back in the day it cost $1.50, and it's just like this promise that I made myself that like when I felt like I finally would have enough money or something, then I would buy some black lip color. And this wasn't $1.50, it was way more than that, but it just was so symbolic. Period. And I thought about the lip color, and then I was like, sure, it could be that. But it's like, I don't know, I think I want to be a person who wears red lip color, but I'm not. I mean, I can with like the bright red or whatever, but it's just like that shade. It's like, I feel like I'm not light enough anymore. I used to be, but I've been getting so much sun. It doesn't quite look the same with the different hints of reds that I have in my skin anyway. And so, got a notification and it threw me off. Right. So it's like, I want to be a person that wears black lip color, but on some level I feel like I don't deserve it. Because I'm like, it's so bold. And I think I've deliberately spent the last 2, maybe even 3, maybe even 4 years hiding in a lot of ways. So to wear a really bold color like black, it seems like a big statement because I know that like calls attention. And part of me is like, you don't deserve attention. Which happens. And so I second guess myself and I do the red first and then I do the black. But I think next time I'm gonna do black. Period. I feel like there was maybe more on that, but don't know. And I think lastly, I'm just gonna share that I'm presenting at my first in-person conference tomorrow. My first National Association of Social Workers conference tomorrow. I noticed some self-sabotage there too. In regard to like postponing and stuff like that, postponing practicing. I've done it before. I think I've done that presentation twice, but still, it is a really big moment. And I picked the whole outfit and everything. And in a way, when I was putting the black lipstick on today, I was like, I need to be seen. So yeah, in case that's relevant, I'm sharing that for anyone. And I think that's all I have for now. I'm gonna do a part 2 video on this Austin thing, I hope. And then, yeah, I mean, I just hope you're all well and stuff. Wait, I want to say that I really feel at the end of the day, literally at the end of the day, that all I want to do is just be the love. Right? Which is why we're called Love is Healing. Because it is healing to be the love. And it's, I mean, I feel like when people just perpetuate the hurt, it just hurts other people. That's how trauma gets passed down. Alrighty, y'all. If you care to look us up, we're at loveishealingllc.com. We're on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and our handle is loveishealingllc. We offer shamanic healing services and psychotherapy, shamanic services worldwide, psychotherapy in Oregon, Oklahoma, Florida, New Mexico, and Texas, which is pretty cool. It's exciting stuff. Anyway, I actually want to keep talking because I miss recording videos, but I'll just record other videos instead. Take care.